Welcome. Today we're jumping right into a brand new explainer unpacking the frontiers of artificial intelligence 2025 through 2026. We're going to completely bypass the buzzwords today and look at exactly what the world's top researchers are actually building right now. So instead of just, hyping up some distant sci-fi future, we're going to systematically break down the very real, highly technical evolution of these systems directly from our source material. Okay, let's dive into this. Is AI moving from a simple chatbot to an autonomous worker? And what does the AI of 2026 actually look like? We are witnessing a massive, fundamental shift here. We're moving from systems that merely talk to us to systems that actually do complex work for us. You got to think of the generative AI you use today as just the baseline. What we're really looking at now, as you'll see, is the anatomy of a developing, highly capable, and fully autonomous assistant. So let's start at the very core with Section 1, the new AI brain. Right off the bat, the first major upgrade is the development of reasoning models. Instead of just acting as this incredibly fast autocomplete that blurts out the next most likely word, these newer models explicitly perform chain-of-thought-style reasoning and deliberation before they even answer. They literally take a deliberate moment for, internal thinking, to map out the logic and weigh their options step by step. Because of this, they can tackle complex, multi-layered problems in math or coding that would have completely stumped earlier iterations. It's a real game changer. But here's the thing. Internal logic needs concrete facts to actually be useful, right? And that brings us to RAG, or Retrieval-Augmented Generation. By combining language models with external knowledge sources, the AI no longer has to rely solely on its initial static training data. It retrieves exact, grounded data in real time before generating a response. Think of it like giving the AI a library card to go look things up. This effectively solves the whole outdated information problem by anchoring the AI's logic in verifiable, up-to-date reality. And this brilliantly illustrates how these two groundbreaking concepts actually work together to build a vastly improved system. On the left, you've got reasoning models providing that deep internal chain-of-thought deliberation. And on the right, you pair that with RAG, which connects the system to external, verifiable knowledge. Working together, they target the biggest historical limitations of AI. One dramatically improves internal logic, while the other acts as this perfectly integrated external fact-checker. Let's move on and see how this builds in Section 2, Senses and Actions. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that it shows we're moving deeply into the era of unified multimodal AI. As you can see, the newest models don't just read flat text anymore. They process images, audio, video, and structured data simultaneously. This gives the AI comprehensive, multifaceted senses to grasp really complex contexts all at once. So instead of needing totally separate, siloed systems for, say, transcribing audio or analyzing a video feed, a single model can natively interpret the full scope of an environment. And once an AI can perceive the world with those multimodal senses, it can actually start to interact with it. Enter AI agents, systems that can plan, use tools, browse the web, write code, and execute multi-step tasks autonomously. If the reasoning models are the brain and the multimodal inputs are the senses, well then AI agents are the hands. We are officially pivoting from a passive system to an active one that rolls up its sleeves and gets to work for you. This is the exact moment AI stops being just a fancy search engine alternative and becomes a true digital worker. Let's break down exactly how these agents operate. First up, step 1, they plan out a strategy based on whatever overarching goal you gave them. Step 2, they actively browse the web and use digital tools to gather what they need. Step 3, they actually write the necessary code or scripts to bridge gaps between different software environments. And finally, step 4, they execute the task. Just imagine the sheer utility here. The implications for productivity are absolutely massive when you have an autonomous worker managing the entire pipeline from end to end without needing constant human prompting. All right, so once it has a brain, senses, and hands, it's time for the AI to go to grad school. Section 3, the AI specialists. So the crucial point here is that we are moving way beyond general AI. The broad, everyday models you might use to draft emails or summarize a long PDF. Researchers are now pouring massive resources into domain-specific foundation models. These are expert-level systems trained deeply on incredibly complex data for specific fields like medicine, science, materials discovery, nutrition, biology, and engineering. The impact of deploying these highly specialized models to, say, discover new drug compounds or formulate sustainable materials, it's going to accelerate scientific breakthroughs immensely. But with all this power, we have to talk about control. Section 4, keeping AI safe. With all these incredible advancements, AI safety and alignment are absolutely critical. As you can see, research is focusing heavily on reliability, robustness, and especially hallucination reduction. Look, making sure the model doesn't confidently fabricate false information is a top priority for developers right now. You simply cannot have an agent autonomously browsing the web, generating code, and executing tasks if you can't definitively trust its reliability and robustness in unpredictable situations. And that brings us to the ultimate goal, trustworthy AI deployment. All of that specialized knowledge, those multimodal senses, and the complex reasoning we just covered, it's all meaningless without reliability at the very core. The frontier of AI research isn't just about pushing the limits to make machines smarter. It is equally focused on making them undeniably safe, transparent, and beneficial to use at scale. And that leaves us with a pretty massive question. As AI learns to plan, reason, and act, are we ready to align its future with ours? Through this explainer, we've seen directly from the source material how this technology is evolving from a simple conversational interface right into a dynamic, specialized, and fully autonomous worker. So keep pondering that question, keep learning, and we will see you next time.